Welcome to our latest episode of Essentials Podcast.
What's
I'm
up,
Whitney
everybody?
Flockhart.
I'm Stevie Flockhart.
We're excited that you're here, and we've got some really good stuff to talk about today.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just getting into this, obviously, just a few episodes in. And so last time we talked about, is conflict avoidable? And we walked through, in the 23 minutes that we have, some conflict is avoidable.
And some is not.
No, it's not. And so we walked through that. So please go back and revisit these things. And, we're doing it to share with you, to help you, to give you some truth, and just give you some tools on how to become better in the essentials. Again, another plug of life. And so, but today we want to talk about what a girl
or
a boy, what a girl, what a boy wants. And so shout out to
What
Christina Aguilera. What was that? 2000 and let's take a guess. Quick.
4.
2000.
Oh, it was before that.
No, you already did it.
Shoot.
Yep, sorry. I go
No.
2001. Yeah, no, why I said
Somebody
that.
look it up.
Yeah. And so Christina Aguilera, we should have called it Genie in a Bottle this episode, but that would have made no sense whatsoever. And so every man and woman, we all have wants, we all have needs, we all have desires, whatever it is. And so I want to read to you. This is interesting because it might hit something in your life, but the top 8 reasons people listed for getting divorced over the past decade. Number 1 was communication problems.
I believe that.
Yep. Number 2 was falling out of love. I do want to spend a podcast talking about that because we think love is just this emotion or this
Something
feeling.
you fall into.
And so if you can fall into love, you can fall out of. So again, we're going to talk about that. But number 3, lack of sex or intimacy. Number 4 is no longer a partnership. Money actually had a lot to do with that they listed. Number 4 was an addiction, whether alcohol, pornography, a substance, workaholic, whatever it is. Number 6 was abuse. Physically, emotionally, whatever that was. Number 7 was cheating. It's the age of social media we talked about.
Goodness, we could have a whole podcast on that alone.
Yeah, and they meet their best friend forever who's the opposite sex. It's just not a good idea. And then number 8 was no emotional support. And so today is not about divorce, but I'd hope if you're married, you always would like to see and hear how not to get divorced. That would be a really, really good thing. And so there are wants, there's desires that every woman and every man needs. And a lot of times what we experience is we didn't know, because we don't know what we don't know.
Right.
So you might not know that your spouse needs these things, but sometimes you do know, and you're just not doing it.
Yeah, so here's what we want to talk about today. Men have one basic need, and that is
sex.
Respect.
Oh, yes, respect, yes.
Wow. No, it's respect, Stevie. And there's lots of things that go underneath that, but one basic need is respect. And women have one basic need, and that is love.
Love, yes.
Again, that is an umbrella. There are things underneath that we're going to talk about.
No doubt.
But Dr. Emerson Eggerichs gives some great insight into these things. And in preparing and researching and taking notes for this particular podcast, I was reading a bunch of publishing, some articles and things like that. And through reading those, I just could relate so well. I just thought, gosh, these things are so true. And I think you listeners are going to think you're going to be able to hit home, or these are going to hit home with you today too. So, in fact, a book that I read years ago called For Women Only by Shanti Feldhahn. I'm sure some of you listeners have read that. There's a For Men Only too, but in the book For Women Only, there was a statistic in there that said 74% of men would rather feel unloved and alone.
That's crazy.
Than inadequate and disrespected.
Wow.
So if respect is his basic need, this is really important stuff. Yeah. So let's just dive right in. Like I said, Dr. Eggerichs, he has an acronym that he put out there, 6 areas that men long to feel respected in. And the acronym is CHAIRS. It's a pretty simple word, right?
Yep.
CHAIRS, CHAIRS. So let's dive into that real quick. Conquest is the C. Conquest. Men desire to achieve greatness, usually in their career, but in their families as well. They long for adventure. This goes into appreciating the hard work that he does. trusting his decisions and his judgments.
Yeah, like in the Bahamas, right?
Yes, like the Bahamas.
Yeah, I brought up, so we were in Bahamas, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And we're talking about adventure,
I don't
conquest.
remember.
And again, some of this is personality too, but we get off the cruise ship and we go to Atlantis, right?
Yes.
And there is this lightning storm, or thunderstorm, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so they told everybody, get inside, you can't be in the pool.
Right,
So
lifeguards walking around everywhere.
Yeah. And I told Whitney, I said, let's hide so we can have this pool all to
No,
ourselves.
you didn't say let's hide. You
Oh,
said
excuse me.
let's go under this bridge, underwater, hold our breath until all the lifeguards go inside. That's
what an
you
adventure
said.
it was. And you were so against it, you remember?
1,000%.
And I'm not necessarily a rule breaker, but she is absolutely a rule follower. And
Yeah, of
so
course.
we held our breath, for whatever it was, 24
minutes.
Yeah. And so Navy SEAL level, whatever. But we were the only ones in this huge, don't think pool, think park. We're the
like a
only
water
ones.
park.
And we were pretending like we were like on a mission, And so at the end of the day, we went down the big slide that we would have had to wait 30. We just kept going over and over.
It ended up being a really fun
Yes.
experience.
So she thanked me for that adventurous.
I mean, I don't know if I trusted your judgment in that moment or
No,
you
you
were
didn't.
shoving my head underwater so I wouldn't come up and anyone would see me. Yeah, exactly. Conquest. Men long for adventure and achieve greatness. The H is hierarchy. Men have a desire to protect and provide for their loved ones.
Yeah,
it's
true.
in them. They're born with it. They want to protect and they want to provide for you. So appreciate that desire in them. Tell them. Remind them how thankful you are for that. I know I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah. And again, these are things, these are tools we're giving, some things that, so if every man needs to be respected, ladies, make sure that you recognize these things and that you're doing these things. You do a great job at that, where you recognize, that that's what I want to do. And that's the desire of my heart to protect, to serve you guys,
Right.
and you see it. So yeah,
I was driving around with expired tags for a minute, and Stevie, during his workday, went and renewed my tags for me. And
man,
do you
what a
remember how much I appreciated that and what I did for you?
yes, I do.
So yeah,
Continue,
men want to do that. A is authority. The men have desire to lead their family. That is the mantle they wear. It's a calling on their life, guys. Men want to lead their families. They want to have that authority. So let them have that authority. How would you describe that mantle that you wear? How would you describe that desire to lead your family?
Yeah, I think first of all, every man should desire to lead your family, and if you're leading them the wrong way, don't be surprised when things aren't happening in a good way,
Right.
So when good things aren't happening. So I guess just trying to be like Jesus, and lead like Jesus would lead, and that's always putting others above yourself and the needs of others. To truly lead is to truly serve, So it is a mantle that every single man carries, that they should carry.
You do that really well, by the way.
Thank you. So, yeah.
The I is insight. Men want to be included in your lives, ladies. They want to know that their opinion is valuable. So ask them their opinion. Ask them for help. They want to give it. They really want to help. Letting them know that their input and opinions are valuable is very important too.
Yeah. And everybody wants to be heard,
Yeah. And when your man feels like he's valuable, that's a win for him. And trust me, you want him to feel like he's a winner at home. And R is for relationships. Men desire for companionship, but also friendship. I have a desire for companionship as well, obviously, with that one-on-one intimate relationship with him. But I would say it's Stevie's desire for friendships that really keeps our groups of friends really tight. And I really appreciate that about him. Just him giving meaning to that. It keeps us tight. It keeps us close. And I've learned to be a great friend because he's such a great friend. So tell him that you appreciate that about him. And the last one is sexuality.
There we go.
That is really self-explanatory, but men need it. Ladies, we got to give it.
Sure.
Even
and we
if,
all need it, yeah. But a man needs
Man
it, you know. And we
really
will, and we'll
needs
spend
it.
time on, I mean, we'll talk about sex at one time or many times, how important that truly is,
Yeah.
you know. And it's even been said too, you know, the three primary things that a marriage really needs is communication, quality time, and sex, you know. And so,
but have fun with it. Like, it doesn't always have to be scheduled or whatever. Ladies, sometimes you need to do it even when you're not in the mood. We have this thing that
oh, wow.
I'm gonna share.
I don't know what you're talking about right now, but I like it.
No, but I want to give people an example
Sure.
of something to do that's just the two of you that's fun, okay? So if we're in a public place, we obviously can't go make love. That's, you know, very frowned upon and illegal. But
and
if we make eye contact in a public place and one of us bites our lower lip, we know things are happening later.
Yeah,
and it just creates this fun...
I'm biting my lip right now,
this
by the way,
fun chemistry between the two of us. And we do it all the time, and it makes for a fun little inside joke. So you guys think of something cute that you guys can do together like that.
That's good. That's good. So that's what men need. That's what a man wants. This is what a girl wants. And again, so Whitney's kind of sharing from the perspective of what men need and how, you know, and she's done so great at that. But you got to know love and respect. Yes, they go hand in hand in so many different areas, but they're not the same thing. And they actually have different requirements for both of them. And so for a woman, he writes about couple, and that's what he talks about. And
that's the acronym, right? Couple.
Yeah, that's the acronym, couple. And so, you know, the C's for closeness. My brother, you know, she needs face-to-face quality time with you regularly.
Yes.
You know, you can't, you know, you need to tell her regularly, talk to her, communicate. Again, it comes back to communication, but how you communicate is so important. And
sometimes when I feel like I need a really intimate conversation, the best times that we have, we'll go for a drive because you have to be in close proximity. Nobody can escape. It's just like you're there. You got to deal with it. So maybe go for a drive.
So we designate Fridays for each other, and we try to do that. But I mean, and I don't know how you guys share the load at your house with dishes and laundry and cleaning, and I have no idea. But I do know that Whitney does the majority of the laundry at our house, which thank you, Jesus, for that, by the way. Thank God. And so,
You're welcome.
But you want to often say, you know, thank you so much for this, you know, whether you walk in and a house is, or dinner's, vice versa, but just make sure that they know that you appreciate them, you admire them, you tell them. We do drives, dinner every single night, you know, and sometimes games happen, practices happen, no doubt about it, but the majority of the time, we have family dinner together. You know, we all sit there, the five of us, Whitney and I and our three kids. Every single time we sit there, you know, how was your day? What happened? You know, we have face-to-face. But then the kids leave, and then sometimes it's 10 minutes, sometimes it's 45 minutes. Whitney and I just sit there and we talk. There's face-to-face quality time. And so there's got to be closeness in your marriage. Next, openness. Listen. This is hard for men sometimes. Do not be withdrawn. Don't be preoccupied with other things when she's talking to you. Listen, be patient. Be transparent. Share your thoughts and your problems with her.
Put your phone away.
You have to, And so, ladies, I'll say this. Be a safe place and a helpful place when your husband is sharing with you problems or stuff he's dealing with. Now, I'm not saying you don't be real and authentic, but the last thing that he needs in that moment is for you to rebuttal or to talk about the reason that he's having the problems that he's having because of him and because of this and because of that and what he did. Just be a place where he can share. You need to be his closest friend.
Yeah.
You need to be that. You need to be a place where he can share with you what's going on, his insecurities, his fears, his doubts. Guys, I know because, again, and please don't hear this thinking like it's some kind of, chick flick, fantasy. No, this is real stuff that you've got to do. And so when we talk about be real and authentic and share your insecurities and your fears with your wife, that could seem overwhelming. That could almost seem like you're not being the man of the house.
Like weakness.
That's exactly what you need to share your weaknesses with her. And it's not because you're weak. It's because she's the one that you need to share that with.
And we'll see that vulnerability as a strength, I promise you.
Respond to her attempts to draw you out and show concern about you. She is concerned about you. She knows I would say this: sometimes you know what's going on even before I know what's going on with me. You know what I mean? You're able to ask. And
I'll be like, hey, I can tell, like, this happens regularly, actually, now that I'm saying it out loud. I can just tell when something is off. And I'll be like, hey, what happened at work today? Or, you know, what do you have going on? What friend contacted you? Like, what's going on?
And the worst response I could give to her is nothing. You know, I'm good. It's like, shut up with that, guys. You know, and again, if you're the guy that comes home every day, it's like, oh, let me tell you about any time. That's just not good. You know, but just be honest and be real.
But I feel like when I come to you with those kind of things, you really do. I would say 100% of the time, you're like, wait, why am I so mad?
Sure. We had something around Christmas time. You know, I remember I was actually asking, I said, God,
I remember.
There's just something on me, you know, and I don't know what. And you said, I think it's this. And you were exactly right. You know, we can't talk about it here, but you were exactly right. And so, next, understanding. 1 Peter 3:7 says, husbands, be considerate of your wives.
Yes.
Now, that's a huge statement, and a lot could be attached to that. But listen, you got to be attentive to her concerns. 1 Peter 3:7 says, husbands, be considerate of your wives. I mean, obviously, that's a huge statement, and a lot could be attached to that. But be attentive to her concerns. Make her feel understood, and let her know that you care.
This might actually be the biggest one.
Sure, elaborate.
Just feeling known and feeling cared for. I've talked to so many women that just say, man, I wish my husband just knew me. I wish he just understood me.
Sure.
I mean, this is huge. And women long to get to a place where, you know, you can be in the same room with your husband and you guys be able to communicate just like without saying anything, like just looking at each other.
Yeah.
Like,
and don't always try to fix it. You know?
Yeah, well, that too.
Yeah, sometimes, so just to listen, you know, because the men always want to have the answer. This is something that I've worked on, you know, that I would still have to work on, is sometimes she doesn't need an answer from you.
Right.
She literally just wants you
I would say
to
most
listen.
times.
No, you need an answer sometime. We're going to give you that. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. So, but you're exactly right. And so, guys, just listen, be attentive. Next, peacemaking. Look for ways to be at one with your wife.
Yes. Especially if you have children.
Yes. You know, be unified. And all of these we could spend literally an entire podcast on. But you're really looking for, talk through things that need to be resolved. You know, look for ways to resolve issues. You know, we talked about conflict. I believe it was last time, you know, but like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But talk through those things. Do not sweep it under the rug. That's one of the worst things you can do, you know?
Right. Try to be the first one to apologize. I know that's difficult, me particular, and
we've talked about
probably many of you, but try to be the first one.
Yep. Admit your mistakes. Here it is. And ask for forgiveness. You know, I say this often with people. We talk about this often to people. I believe, if not it's one of the three most powerful words you can say to anybody, but especially to your spouse, is not "I love you." That's great. We're talking, "I am sorry."
Yeah.
That was my fault. That was my bad. I should not have said that. I should not have and do it quickly. Do it swiftly.
Yes.
I'm sorry. And don't get defensive, you know?
Right.
Or be offended. And so I'm sorry. Next, loyalty. Listen, you made a covenant with her and with God. Show your devotion. Show your loyalty to her and to God and the covenant that you took together on your marriage day.
Right.
You know, I think a lot of times we find ourselves in the trouble that we're in because we're being disloyal.
Yeah.
And so what I mean by that is you're supposed to be loyal to her, not loyal to the young lady at the office. Right. You know, so watch out for those things. You're supposed to be loyal to her, not to the thing that you're looking at 3 a.m.
Not a
on the
particular
internet.
Instagram account that you find yourself going to.
Yes. And so that's just, it's causing distrust and you're being disloyal to her. Make sure she knows that she is the only one for you. I mean, this is obtainable, by the way.
It is.
You know? And
it's countercultural, but it's obtainable for sure.
Yeah, you know, that she is the one for you, and you're going out of your way to let her know that. You're making decisions. Listen, you're saying no to things to let her know that, listen, you're the only one. And then finally, esteem. Show appreciation and value her as your equal.
Yes.
She should feel treasured as your partner, not your inferior, not, not one of your soldiers or one of your employees. I mean, you guys, this is a partnership, and you made that covenant together. And so just esteem, do things, remember obviously birthdays and anniversary. And that's the stuff, like if you're forgetting that stuff, we need to go back to square one, but like just do things just because, send her a text and just say, I love you. And so guys, I just know guys and I know people and I know people that struggle with vulnerability or being real.
Yeah.
For you to send a text message in the middle of the day.
Yes.
Just to
you
your wife.
You did that yesterday.
I did.
Wait,
I
was
did.
it yesterday?
It was 2 days ago. And I wasn't going to say it, but yeah, I did. And again, that's just something I'd hope I do regularly now. But for a guy to think right now, wait, you're telling me you want me to stop in the middle of the day and send my wife, who I have not done this kind of thing to for the last 6 years, 10 years, and just be like, hey, girl, I just want you to know I love you and I'm thinking about you.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see you later. Like,
right.
That feels so weird to me. Like, it shouldn't,
Right.
And that should be, that builds her esteem. That lets her know that you love her, that you're thinking about her. You appreciate, you can send random texts throughout the day and just say, I'm so grateful for you.
Yeah.
Hey, and this needs to go back and forth, no doubt about it. We're just talking about
it's
the guys
a cycle.
right now.
Mean, if one of you starts doing that, I guarantee the other one's going to start doing that.
Yeah.
And then it's just a beautiful thing.
This is a great principle for any relationship. If you ever think, listen to me, if you ever think of something good or kind about someone, you should tell them.
Yeah.
And I try to live by this principle, by the way, from a staff member, church person, whatever. Like, if you think of something good or tell them. But this should go above and beyond for your spouse.
Right.
I mean, anything, guys, anything. Everything, and I keep saying guys, but ladies should be doing this too. But like guys and girls, like this is what a man needs. This is what a woman needs. These are all of these things.
Yeah, ladies, it's our nature to try and make love our priority within our marriage relationships. But let's turn that and make respect the priority in our marriage relationship. Love is a key ingredient for feeling that ultimate connection to each other, which is what we long for the most. To be fully known by each other. And so listen, love nurtures and comforts, while respect trusts and admires. It's important to know the difference between those two.
Yeah, and there is a difference. So, hey, I hope this helped today. Remember, you've got for the men, chairs. We need conquest, hierarchy, authority, insight, and relationship. And then sexuality, we want to feel that.
Yep.
And then for the ladies, couple.
And women, couple.
Yeah,
closeness, openness, understanding, peacemaking, loyalty, and esteem.
Yeah, hope this helped, guys. Hey, remember, put these things into practice. This is obtainable stuff.
Yeah.
This is not fantasy land. It can happen, and it will not happen in a week.
That's right.
You've got to be consistent. Don't judge anybody on their worst day or their best day.
Right.
Consistency
this is a marathon,
and
guys.
persistence is the key. And so I hope this helped. Go back to it. Do not forget to rate and review this podcast. It just helps with, and subscribe. It helps the visibility, and we want to reach as many people with this as we can. So thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next time on Essentials with Stevie and Whitney Flockhart.
See you later.
See you guys.